The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Fast-breaking developments in the coronavirus emergency in the U.S. and around the world. The number of cases soaring just today. More than 24,000 now nationwide. New Jersey today becoming the sixth state to close all non-essential businesses, joining California, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Nevada. More than 80 million Americans now told to stay at home.
And there you go, people. Welcome to this new America. For all my truck drivers out there that listen to my show on the regular, some I know and some I don't know across the states, you know, we are the bloodline of America. And when other people stop moving and stop working, we still out here getting much needed medical equipment to the hospitals. We're getting groceries to grocery stores, you know, and things of that nature. Some of you might be out of work, but some of you might get called back up to help out with what's going on. And sometimes I feel like I'm the man on the beach that's screaming at everybody that tidal wave's coming that's gonna wipe you out. And they're looking at me like I'm their crazy uncle. And I don't know if any of you guys seen the video of the youngsters down there in Florida all on the beach partying. You know, one guy got on TV and was like, you know, he don't care if he gets corona or not. This is real, people. This is real. Y'all need to understand this. This is real. In Italy, 400 people died in one day. They had to bring the military trucks to the hospitals and pick up the bodies, and now they're deciding where to bury these people. They're thinking about mass graves. This is scary stuff. And what angers me is that you got people out here who try to make excuses that what you saying to them is not real by saying, you know, car accidents kill more people than this coronavirus. Or they might say something stupid like, what about cancer? People don't talk about cancer like this. The problem with these other things that kill hundreds of people, thousands of people across America, people, what you got to understand is when you die from a car accident or you die from cancer, you don't infect 15, 20 other people and send them to the hospital. There's a difference. You see, today we got a good show. I'm going to interview a woman who caught coronavirus. And I care for this person. You know, me and her, I'm going to give you a quick disclaimer. Me and her was involved a few months back. We were even engaged. Now, we separated on, you know, on good terms. But still, the fact is, you know, when she told me she had it, I was shocked. You know, we've only been separated a few months. And see how quick things can change around. Y'all got to understand that this is real, people. This is going to touch everybody's lives. It's going to touch you. Your niece can get it and die from it. I'm gonna talk to her later on in the show. I'm gonna call her around 12:15, 12:20. And I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna contact her so she can let the American people that listen to my show understand and know that this is real. She's suffering right now. This is not a game. It's not a joke. People run around with their head in the clouds. And I think about this all the time. You know, I try to tell my kids, you know, be responsible. Be responsible more than the people you see around you. Because a lot of these people that's calling themselves grown men and women, they ain't responsible. And it pissed me off. When I seen that video of them youngsters down there in Florida on the beach, I said to myself, they're going to go back home to Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, wherever they came from, to go down there for spring break and party. And they're going to take whatever they catch down there back home to infect their little brothers and sisters or their friends' kids. And they don't care. And as far as the deaths go, we have almost 260 people in this country who have died from this already. And the numbers are rising daily. We have 24,000 people who have been infected with the coronavirus that we know about because we've tested. We're starting to test now. I'm going to show y'all this clip of Italy. I want to show y'all this clip real quick.
China reported no new local cases overnight for the second straight day. Some good news, but at the same time, Italy has overtaken China to have the world's highest reported death toll from the coronavirus. More than 3,500 patients have died in Italy, and more than 41,000 are infected. MTS tie-up shows how the hospitals in the hardest hit parts of northern Italy are reaching a breaking point.
This is the front line in Italy's battle against the coronavirus, a battle doctors say they're losing.
When you arrive at this point, you realize that you are not enough.
What you're seeing here isn't even the ICU. That's already full. This is the emergency room.
Now let me pause right there for a second. This is the emergency room, people. This is not even this is the lobby of the emergency room. This is not even the ICU. They had to clear out all the benches in the lobby of the emergency room and put beds in there for these people. I'm gonna continue on.
Flooded with new arrivals, all gasping for breath. Doctors cover patients' heads with the precious few plastic ventilators they have. But make no mistake, this is one of Europe's most advanced hospitals, and it's on its knees. Just outside its doors, and the Italian military moves in under the cover of darkness. Their first job, to find a place to bury the dead.
Y'all hear this? The military had to come in with trucks in the middle of the night to keep the people, loved ones, from knowing that their loved ones, their family members, is finna be hauled off with a bunch of other bodies to a facility, and they don't know if they're gonna be burned, cremated, buried in a mass grave. Can you imagine that? This has gotten serious. And I hate to say I was right, you know, and I'm gonna tell you how I knew. I'm gonna tell all of you social media family and friends. I'm gonna tell all you guys how I knew that this was the real deal, because I saw a lot of memes talking about how this is another fake thing like the swine flu. This is another fake thing like Y2K. I'm gonna tell you how I knew that this was real. They showed a satellite image of Iran building mass graves. Number one, they don't have the rights we have over there. If you get sick from this, they liable to take you out somewhere and kill you and dump you in a mass grave to keep other people from getting infected. China. Because see, let me put it in perspective for you. I don't just study United States politics. I look at a lot of world news also, because in other countries, their news give you the raw and uncut news. If they show you a police officer beating somebody down with a baton, they're not going to blur nothing out. They're going to show it. So I watch a lot of world news. And when I saw the Chinese test a woman for coronavirus and she had it, they sent a team of military soldiers in full hazmat uniforms, snatched this woman up out the seat kicking and screaming and drug her off. I'm gonna put this in terms, I'm gonna put this in American terms so y'all can understand this. What if your child was at school or your child walking down the street with a bunch of her friends or his friends? Some military police officers pull up with hazmat suits on and they check each and every one of these kids. Your child has the coronavirus. They grab your child up, not give her time to make no phone calls. They snatch her up, tell the other kids, get away from her, go home immediately. Put her in the back of a truck and drive off with her. You would go crazy. You would go bananas. Period. You would go crazy. And that's what I'm saying when I tell you, I was telling y'all this a long time ago that this was real. Some of y'all didn't believe this was real until you couldn't watch the NBA games anymore. You can't watch LeBron play basketball anymore. Now you know it's real. This is crazy. You know, you can't watch your favorite basketball player shoot ball. So now all of a sudden your mind is clicking. This is real. You ain't paying attention. And then the stock market started crashing. I'm finna get into that. I'm gonna talk about that. That's the third thing. That's the third reason I knew that this was real. You see, when you middle class or you poor, you don't have money to invest in stocks. Stocks, when you invest in it, it's been spent and utilized all over the world because you got companies that you invest in that do business all over the world. So what done happen is these multimillionaires and billionaires that got all this money tied up in the stocks, they call their buddies up in China. They call their buddies up in Italy. They call their buddies up in Europe and Spain. And they say, hey man, is this for real? Man, look, this is serious. Everything's shut down over here. And they business mind, they knowing if things is shutting down, it's time to take my money out. See, that's the third thing. That's the third thing that made me know that this was real. When the stock market started crashing. Then you got this lying ass president who gonna get up here and tell you, him and the Republicans gonna get up there and tell you that it all go away in a minute. But guess what? Two of the Republicans went and sold their stocks after they got a briefing on the coronavirus. They sold millions of dollars worth of stock in the companies that they had invested in. The whole time they on TV telling the American people, don't panic. You know, don't panic. It ain't nothing to see here. But they done sold their stocks. This is real, people. This ain't a game. This is not a game. These two Republican senators, a female and a male, and I think it was a Democratic senator also. I think Dianne Feinstein. I'm going to check in on that. Because when one of the reporters asked the president about the two Republicans, he was quick to mention Dianne Feinstein. He was already prepared for that question. So he threw a Democrat name in there. She sold stocks too. So if you investigate, you know, these two Republicans, you got to investigate her too. Who cares? If she did it, she wrong too. Because you telling the American people there's nothing to see here, everything's going to be okay. But you already done got the knowledge through your investigations through the Senate that what's going on across seas is finna hit America and it's going to be bad. So you done sold your stocks. That's what you call insider trading. That's against the law. So, you know, this stuff is crazy, people. It's crazy time. I'm finna get into my first commercial break, and I'm gonna try to reach out to Shante Fulton. I'm gonna try to reach out to her and get her on the phone. And we're gonna talk on the next segment about this coronavirus and how it's affecting people's lives and the things that you know she has experienced and been through. We'll be right back.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Even, you know, we spend all this time saying, oh, California's trying this, the Bay Area is trying this city is trying this, schools are shut down here. We've been talking about the places where new stuff is being tried, where new strictures are being announced. Look at it from the other side, though, too. It is worth noting that there's a bunch of states in this country that really aren't doing much at all. We checked with the National Governors Association today, which is tracking state-by-state responses. I was honestly shocked to find that there are 7 states as of right now where there are no mandated bans on gatherings of any size. There are no state mandates ordering restaurants or bars or any other businesses to close. There's no state mandate for school closures. None of those things. In Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming. No state-mandated school closures, no state-mandated limits on large gatherings, no state mandates on the operations of businesses like bars or restaurants. Now, in some of these cases, there are, you know, non-binding recommendations, urgings, strong feelings expressed by leaders. And within these states, some schools and some businesses have followed their own lead or followed those urgings and non-binding recommendations. You know, local school districts having to make those calls themselves. But in all 7 of those states, no statewide rules. Because sure, why not? Make it up yourself. See how it goes.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, people, and we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Now, as promised, I have Shante Fulton on the phone. Like I gave you a disclaimer, this is a person I care for. She is my ex. We've been in a relationship, and we're still good friends. And like I was saying before, I was shocked when she told me she had the coronavirus. And I want her to give in her own words for you people out there who still don't understand and believe that this stuff is real. You know, the things that she's going through. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to keep you too long because I know you still going through it and it's hard for you to breathe. But give the people you know, your take on everything that's going on and what has happened to you.
Well, like I say about 5 days ago, I had like a little tickle in my throat. Mm-hmm. It felt like something was stuck in my throat and I couldn't get it out. And then the next day, it turned into a really bad cough. Mm-hmm. So I looked up the places in Nashville where they were testing for COVID-19, mm-hmm. and I found out that they were doing it at Vanderbilt Clinic. My aunt works there, so I went up there to her, and I got tested, and it was like immediately, as soon as I walked in, and I told, well, you have to call before you go and let them know your symptoms, and if you have the symptoms, they'll tell you to come in. But once you get there, they automatically quarantine you.
Okay.
They run a lot of tests for your respiratory, and they gave me cough medicine and a lot of antibiotics. It's a lot of antibiotics because they don't know like the for sure cure for it. Right. They're just giving you something to make you comfortable through it.
Right.
They wanted to keep me in the hospital, but I don't want to stay in the hospital. I'd rather be at home. So I ended up signing myself out.
Okay.
And I had to write a promise that I would self-quarantine myself for 2 weeks.
Right.
So
your experience going to the hospital, was it easy for you once they saw that you had the did you see any problems with getting tested?
No. They were, as soon as I called and they told me to come in, like they were on top of it. They know exactly what to do. They just don't have a cure for it.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just a lot of coughing and a lot of chest pains right now.
Now I'm hearing that some people find it hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Which is what's actually killing people.
Yeah, it's basically you waiting. That's what's killing people, is them waiting. They're thinking that it's like a cold or the flu, like a common flu or something, and they're waiting. And the infection is getting into their lungs, and that's what's hurting them. That's what's killing them.
Okay.
Is the wait. Once you feel like, if you feel a little tickle in your throat, go to the hospital. If you have a fever over 100.4, go to the hospital. Like this stuff is very, very serious.
Right, and the onset of it.
I caught it in time.
The onset of it, it seems like it takes people fast.
Yeah, it happens fast. It travels really fast, and I don't even know how I got it. I don't know. Like I was in the house over my cousin's house. Didn't nobody go anywhere, and the only place that we did go was the Taco Bell.
Okay.
And then I went to my photo shoot, but I don't know how I got it.
Well, now that brings up to another subject, especially people in the minority community. You know, we smoke a little weed, we smoke a little bud, we pass cigarettes. Sometimes we share bottles of whiskey or beer or whatever. Now, do you think you could have got it from that? Because sometimes when people roll blunts, you got to use your saliva to keep the weed in place. Sometimes you pass a cigarette to somebody, say somebody is short. Do you think you could have got it from that, or you think it could have been the restaurant? Maybe somebody in the back had it when y'all went to Taco Bell.
I don't know. I really don't know. But, like they told me, like it could be like if someone, like I was standing at the Taco Bell counter and someone could have probably sneezed or coughed right there, because the infection can live on a surface for up to 2 weeks.
Right.
So it could have been there for days. It could have been there for a week or so. And I walked up to the counter and put my hand on the counter. And then, I had my lashes done for the photo shoot. So, and I rub my eyes a lot when I have my lashes done.
Okay.
So it could have been a lot of things, a lot of ways that I got it. But I know now that I have it, and I know now what I have to do to protect myself. Right.
Now, you are a aspiring model, and you've had to basically put your career off for what, 2 or 3 weeks until you get better.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this might seem like a crazy town, but plug yourself in so people can contact you and give you the well wishes and everything. And let people know that you're still kicking, you're still around, and you're not down and out. You hang in there.
Yeah. And thank you.
Mhm. Well, go ahead and let people know how they can reach out to you.
They can reach me on Facebook at Shante Fulton, or they can reach me by Instagram at @I am_dreadheadcutie.
Okay. Now I hope you get better, and we're gonna pray for you, the whole family. We praying for you. My sister, she already got the oil. She might throw it to you. She might throw it to you.
I love Lana.
Yeah, she might throw it to you through the phone, but she got the oil. So you're gonna be all right. I'm glad you caught it in time. This is Shante Fulton, you guys, and I'm gonna let you get back to resting. And I
Okay.
thank you for giving these words out to the people, man, letting them know that it's real.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye.
And there you go, people. That was Shante Fulton. She's an aspiring model. She don't know where she could have got it from, and she could have got it during a photo shoot. She could have got it at Taco Bell, placing a hand on the counter. She could have got it, passing a cigarette or from a glass that she grabbed. This is real, people. It's like a wildfire. And the governor of New York, he basically predicts that this whole thing is gonna be so bad that it's gonna affect at least 40 to 60% of the population of this country, and that's gonna overwhelm the medical system. It's going to overwhelm the medical system. I want you to check this out.
Cuomo's alarming prediction. He says 40 to 80% of people will ultimately become infected. Across the country, some hospitals bracing for the worst, beds filling up with patients, critical supplies in some cases running dangerously low, and healthcare workers afraid they will have no way to protect themselves.
And see, that's the problem with this. This stuff might be almost like the flu, but this stuff is 10 times worse. It puts you down. So even though one person might die from it, and the flu might kill more people, car accidents might kill more people, cancer might kill more people. All this stuff you guys throw at me when I talk to you about this stuff and let you know, man, this stuff is real. At the end of the day, all that other stuff you saying does not put 15 to 20 people that you come in contact with in the hospital. All of that other stuff you talk about is not going to crash the economy. All that other stuff don't even matter. The cancer you throw up, car accidents, man, kill more people than this coronavirus. All that's garbage. That stuff doesn't put 15 to 20 people that you come in contact with in the hospital. This stuff does. You might die from it, but you done infected 20 other people. And half of them got to be hospitalized. And let me put this in perspective for some of y'all naysayers out there. Let me put this in perspective for you. Say you at home and your child fall down some stairs and bust his head. Now, I like to tell these anecdotal stories for all my listeners out there. Some of my truck driving buddies, y'all like my anecdotal stories. So say your child busts his head out here. Okay, you take him to the hospital or you call first because they advise you to call first. You call 911. Now, usually 911 will send out an ambulance. Okay. They're not going to send an ambulance out this time. They tell you, look, ma'am, they start asking you all kinds of questions. Is it that bad? Can you just buy some Band-Aids? And you like, man, I'm seeing white meat. I'm seeing blood dripping down my son's head. They're going to tell you, well, ma'am, look, we so strained right now that we don't, listen, you could bring him in, but we got to give you a disclaimer. We got to let you know that if you bring him in here, he coming in with a busted head, but he might leave with the coronavirus and some stitches. This is what we're facing. Your child that you might take to the hospital to get a checkup is so over, the whole medical system is so overburdened that he might leave, he might come in there with a busted head, get stitched up, and leave with an upper respiratory coronavirus and might die from it. Don't think because y'all younger that y'all can't die from this. What they're telling you is younger people have a better chance of surviving. That's a whole different ball game than younger people gonna live from it. What they're saying is the youth have a better chance of surviving. They're not saying you can't live from it if you catch it. They're saying you have a better chance. You got to understand them words. This is not a game. I'm going to talk about these elders out here. You know what? I'm going to say that for the last segment. I'm going to talk about some of you elders out here, especially involved in the church. You can't pray this away. Sometimes we got to use common sense. Sometimes we got to use common sense. You can't pray this away. Okay? I'm going to talk about that on my last segment because I had an elder recently told me that they finna go to a revival. The revival is going to have almost 100-some people there. I almost told this person, man, you done lost your mind. But I was respectful because I was raised to be respectful. So I tried my best to explain to this person. I'm gonna get into that on my last segment. Cause I got one more video that I want to show you guys about this coronavirus. And for my live stream, and for the people on my live stream, you can't see this. You got to catch the whole show to see what I'm playing up here. But I'm going to get into this last segment right here on this last one.
The New York City Health Department is now limiting testing to hospitalized patients only in hopes of not only preserving tests for the most ill, but also preserving the protective equipment required for each test, equipment that protects healthcare workers and is in short supply. But Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease specialist, says not every American needs to get tested.
When you go in and get tested, you are consuming personal protective equipment, masks and gowns. Those are high priority for the healthcare workers who are taking care of people who have coronavirus disease.
Officials say the priority groups are those that are hospitalized, symptomatic healthcare workers, and seniors, especially those in long-term care facilities or those with pre-existing conditions.
Now, that just explained it all to you people. So if you my truckers out there, man, you listening to my voice, you can't see me because you listen to my podcast. If you one of them truckers out there, man, call your people. Let them know, man, that all that playing the games they doing out there, it's not. These people are overstrained in the healthcare system. This is not a joke. You get into a bad car accident and a nurse comes see you, guess what? You might catch coronavirus because she had to reuse the PPE, personal protective equipment. She had to reuse this same equipment because Donald Trump and administration, they're not doing nothing to help. They so lost, they don't know what to do. You can see it in their face every time they stand up in front of the TV camera. They don't know what to do. They lost. I'm gonna go into this last commercial break, and when I get back, I'm gonna give a message to some of my elders out here, some of my elders into the church.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Even, we spend all this time saying, oh, California's trying this, the Bay Area is trying this city is trying this, schools are shut down here. We've been talking about the places where new stuff is being tried, where new strictures are being announced. Look at it from the other side, though, too. It is worth noting that there's a bunch of states in this country that really aren't doing much at all. We checked with the National Governors Association today, which is tracking state-by-state responses. I was honestly shocked to find that there are 7 states as of right now where there are no mandated bans on gatherings of any size. There are no state mandates ordering restaurants or bars or any other businesses to close. There's no state mandate for school closures. None of those things. in Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming. No state-mandated school closures, no state-mandated limits on large gatherings, no state mandates on the operations of businesses like bars or restaurants. Now, in some of these cases, there are, non-binding recommendations, urgings, strong feelings expressed by leaders. And within these states, some schools and some businesses have followed their own lead or followed those urgings and non-binding recommendations. Local school districts having to make those calls themselves. But in all 7 of those states, no statewide rules. Because sure, why not? Make it up yourself. See how it goes.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, we back, people. For this last segment, I'm gonna say something to my elders out here. I'm gonna give y'all this story. And a lot of y'all saying that prayer gonna help, God gonna help you, and all this and that. I'm finna tell y'all something deep, and this is, and I want y'all to analyze what I'm finna tell you. You got a man who's drowning. He's in the middle of the ocean. He just had a shipwreck. A boat comes by. He said, "Hey man, you need some help?" He said, "No, God gonna save me." Okay. He continues on. The next boat come by. He said, "Hey man, there's sharks out here. Come on in the boat. I'll take you to safety." He said, "No, God gonna save me." So this man winds up drowning. People. And when he stands before God, he said, "God, I thought you was gonna save me." He said, "Man, look, you got free will." And see, when you spend all of your life knowing that God gave you the choice between good and evil, what's bad and what's good, what's right and what's wrong, you study this now. Morality. You study this. You study morality when you pick up that Bible. So if you know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong, and you know that there's a tidal wave coming that's going to wash you out and kill you, sometimes the messenger who tells you, "Hey, don't go to that revival," that might have been your help you needed from God. But your free will, you chose to ignore it, saying that God's going to save me. Now I'm going to let that simmer on your soul for a second. Because if you analyze the words I'm saying, I'm not telling you to turn away from God. I'm not telling you to stop praying. What I'm telling you is don't be a fool and be safe. Because you have free will, people. You have free will. You got to conduct yourself accordingly. If you don't conduct yourself accordingly, ain't no prayer gonna save you. You're gonna be standing before the man upstairs, during judgment, wondering why didn't nobody come and help you. But you got the help you needed. You called him old crazy guy, man, that started a podcast, man. He telling you, man, I ain't trying to listen to what he got to say. He done started a podcast. He think he can tell me something. If you listening to my voice on my show, I just gave you the help you needed. I just let you know, man, that, hey, keep your distance, man. Buy you some mag. You out here buying toilet paper, buying all the toilet paper out to wipe your butt, to blow your nose, but I can still go buy surgical gloves. They got boxes and shelves full of surgical gloves. Why is that? Didn't nobody buy gloves? Shante just told you that she could have touched the counter and got the coronavirus. Y'all buying toilet paper, buying it all out. This is what I'm talking about. When I do my show, I do it for my community, because I see a lot of people out here that's kind of slacking and lacking. They don't get it. They think this is a big game. They think it's a plot. All you got to do is look at Donald Trump's face now that the economy done crashed. He knows his time is up. His time is up. They had, and I'm going to take this back to politics, because this is a political show. I'm going to take this back to politics. Donald Trump was sent there for a reason. To help out millionaires and billionaires who feel like they're getting the short end of the stick. How you getting the short end of the stick, people, if you got multi-millions of dollars? How you getting the short end of the stick? I don't care if your journey was long and hard to get there. You're a millionaire. Donald Trump was sent in to help millionaires and billionaires, not you. He got two groups that he's there for. Bigots, the racist white people out here that got hatred in their heart for black and brown people. That's one group. And millionaires and billionaires. And if you happen to be black and happen to be a millionaire, billionaire, he's there for you. He'll deal with you, because you got enough money to stay away from him. He'll deal with you. But now that this coronavirus, see, a friend of mine on Facebook, her name's Jasmine. She had put up a picture of a country that, I think it's in Italy, that the water's starting to clear up because people are staying in homes. They're not all in the waterways and stuff. And she had a saying up under there saying, Mother Earth fights back. That meme right there was so true and real. People don't understand that this whole global warming and pollution and things of that nature going on, it's gonna rile up. It's gonna rile up diseases and viruses that have been laying dormant for a long time, for a millennium. And we ain't ready for this stuff. We're not ready for it. So Mother Nature, when Mother Nature fights back, she gonna come with it. She's not gonna play no games with it. Now, to end this show off, for all my podcast listeners, I've been with Podbean for months. And one of my Masonic brothers, Past Master Dre, he introduced me or put it out there about a new way of doing podcasting. So I'm gonna give it a try out. It's called Anchor. I'm gonna try Anchor out. So hopefully I don't change my lip. Cause right now I have about 5,000 loyal listeners. So the 5,000 loyal listeners, if I start seeing a drop in my analytics, I'm gonna switch back to Podbean. But I am gonna try the new podcasting system. I'm gonna try it out to see how it works, to see how many more people I can reach, and I'm gonna give it a try. So that's one thing that's coming down for the show. The next thing that's coming down the show is America's Hidden Gems, which is another show that I had started. I had several people lined up that I was going to interview. That show has been put on pause. Okay? That show has been put on pause, and I'm going to try to reach out to these people that I was going to interview and see if we can work something out to maybe do some kind of interview via Skype or something like that. But this virus is real, people, and I want y'all to be prayed up, but I want y'all to also be safe and use your mind, because you have free will. And sometimes when a person gives you the message to take something serious, that could be the help that you have been praying for. Now that's some deep stuff, and I want you to analyze that and think about that. This is the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Thank you.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.